Hello. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. The Arcade Cabinet, a podcast by gamers for gamers. We have Billtendo, Chappetta, Fieryfoxx, Scharonne, the painter Herrington, and I'm Markivus, Furyus. And ladies and gentlemen, we are the Arcade Cabinet crew. And today we're going to be talking about music and video games. And I'm sorry, my mind is still back on the Dirty Dwarves. So, Bill, I have to ask you, is there some wow? Sorry.
No, man. Actually, what Mark's talking about is we were earlier discussing a game for the Sega Saturn called Three Dirty Dwarves. But, no, there's nothing, like, real messed up about it or anything. Like, there was nothing like highly inappropriate about it. I think they were dirty dwarves because they were like drunken dwarves, but that was about it.
Wasted opportunity.
Yeah,
I agree. Great name.
Right. Dirty dwarves. Wow.
Yeah, just that name alone. So, on the subject of music in video games, let's talk about music in video games, how it impacts a video game, how it makes a video game feel. Your guys' opinion.
You know, to me, the music in a video game is extremely important because it is the line whether I'm going to stay awake or fall asleep. And I'll tell you, one of the very best soundtracks I've ever... and there's a lot of soundtracks that I've listened to in video games. But to me, one of the very best soundtracks they ever made was like out of Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, Sonic CD, Sonic Mania, anything with that hedgehog. Man, it keeps me awake. I love the music that they made for that. I don't really know who the composer is, but he did a damn good job. Now, I'm also to understand that, I don't know, I think that they may have switched gamers, directors or whatever, when they made like the Sonic CD game. So it was slightly different from the Sega Genesis version, but the soundtrack just kicked ass. You know, if I didn't notice nothing else, I listened to that soundtrack, and I don't know what's your opinion on it.
Well, I would say definitely a good or bad soundtrack can make or break a game, without a doubt. And everybody knows me. Everybody knows my favorite game series, so everybody's gonna know what my favorite soundtrack is, and that's Legend of Zelda. Whether it be the MIDI tones of A Link to the Past or the original Zelda, you know, or the more orchestral stuff that they started doing with Ocarina of Time all the way up to Skyward Sword. I'll never forget the first time I'm playing Ocarina of Time and Link runs out into Hyrule Field and that music just kicks up and it's louder and bigger than it had ever been before. And I'm like, this is just amazing. Whereas they went kind of minimalist on Breath of the Wild. You have a couple stringed instruments, a couple woodwinds or brasses, but not unless you're in like a specific fight with one of the calamities or something. The music is pretty tepid, but it relays a tone. It gives you a vibe of the game that's enjoyable. Mm-hmm. You know. I was just gonna say, bad music can just make a good game bad.
Right, it can. Bill, on that note, and I never told you this. Back when Skyward Sword came out, I actually bought, I guess it was like a collector's edition, and it came with a soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that?
Yep.
Okay.
I do have that.
All right.
I do have that. And here's something I don't know if you guys know. A lot of PlayStation 1 games, you could put in your CD player in your car and play the soundtrack to the game on it.
Yeah, don't play track 1 though. Never play that first track because it's gonna sound like digital distortion. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've discovered that years ago.
Yep. Fieryfoxx, what about you?
What's going on? Yeah.
Skyrim. Skyrim.
Skyrim.
It's
What the hell is that?
Scrim for you old folk who don't know.
Oh, scrims. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. The Skyrim soundtrack is awesome. I have the CD in my car. It's my ringtone. Like the song of the Dragonborn whenever I go on call. It just speaks to me. I don't know. Like, it's a really good adventurer's soundtrack. Like, you're riding through the countryside or you're running through a dungeon. They just have some really great scores. I'm about it. It got Game of the Century for a reason. Like, it's pretty good.
Century.
There we go.
Wow.
So for me, there was a game that was that immediately put me on team Sega Genesis. So we'll just go because his history's
Altered Beast.
His history's a little murky. Oh no, not Altered Beast, but so let's picture 89, 90, right? So Michael Jackson was, like I said, it wasn't murky back then, but so he had came out with this movie called Moonwalker, and Genesis was like, we'll make a video game, and it'll be one video game off of Moonwalker, which was just a big music video, if you will. So you get to be Michael Jackson, do Smooth Criminal, dance with zombies. I was sold. So yeah, you got to be Michael Jackson and dance around and click glitter, throw the hat, kill people. I was all about it. But now, when you think about it, it's kind of weird, especially you're saving kids, but hey, I'm a Michael Jackson fan, so.
Well, it wasn't taboo back then, you know.
But now, if you play it now, it's like, yeah. But, you know.
Well, you know what? And that was a good game. And the thing about that game is there were multiple versions of it. I only played two, the Sega Genesis version and the arcade version. And to me, the arcade version was superior with the music also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. And yeah, that's also going to be coming up on my 1 quarter challenge in the future.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going down. I mean, I love me some Michael Jackson also, and that was a damn good soundtrack. And
No, I was gonna say, on the opposite end of that, do you guys think that's why Tomb Raider didn't make it? Because I don't remember Tomb Raider having music to it, the original one.
It did.
It did, but it was nothing special.
It sounded like you listened to like Tchaikovsky or Bach. When I heard, it sounded like something like that, and it's like more like violins and stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, that. But I wasn't into Tomb Raider back then. But
I mean, real, like, everybody wants to imagine that they live in a world where they have their own theme music that just plays all the time when you're living your life, and it changes with the course of what you're doing. So I think a good video game that encompasses a soundtrack that makes the person feel like they're immersed, it can really help with the whole experience of the game. It just gives you like that extra touch, especially if you're playing phones or in a room that has speakers around you or in a gaming chair that like moves. It's part of the experience. Yes, Scharonne, everyone knows you're spoiled. We're all unfortunate, and you are fortunate.
Oh, and shout out to Capcom for that DuckTales game. Once you get to that stage with the moon, that has
the moon. Oh,
that has yes.
It's the best. It like haunts you. It's like yeah. Oh man, it haunts you. Mark, what I was just thinking, and I double checked while you guys were conversing just now because I didn't want to be wrong about this. Michael Jackson actually did all the music for Sonic 3.
Yes. Then Scharonne,
but so what happened was he had a music producer working with him on his Dangerous album, and the producer told him, well, I'm working on Sonic 3 soundtrack, and Michael Jackson is like, I love Sonic, I want to help you do the music, and he recorded it in high fidelity, which, as we know, the 16-bit system couldn't handle. So after the compression was done, it didn't sound the way Michael Jackson wanted it to sound. So he said he pulled his name out of it. He's like, I got nothing to do with it now. But he did write the entire soundtrack at one point.
Good. I'm glad you told me that, because if you ever play, in fact, you can look this up on YouTube. Listen to that Hadrosity Act 1 stage, and listen to that music, because it has such a Michael. You can tell he wrote that, because right. I mean, it was.
No, I said even when you beat the game, the music in the end of the game is Stranger in Moscow. It's just sped up.
Yeah, but I mean, if you listen to Stage 1 Hadrosity on Sonic Mania, just look it up and listen to what that sounds like. I believe he wrote that. You know, I mean, and it all sounds like it's really influenced by him anyway. So,
and then even if you get the older version or the newer version of that game, they changed the music. It's not the same Sonic 3 music.
Right. So
wait. Okay. You talking about like cartridge based or CD?
Do some weird stuff though. You know, because like he did the music for Sonic 3 because he loved Sonic 3, and at the time, what people didn't know was like Marvel was in this almost bankruptcy thing, but Michael Jackson loves Spider-Man, so he literally tried to buy the movie rights to Spider-Man so he could be Spider-Man.
Can you imagine what that would look like? I thought he wanted to be Peter Pan one time.
Michael was mad because he auditioned for Pan, and Robin, what's the name? You got it.
Robin Williams got it.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was that's something. Michael Jackson was, I mean, extremely smart. A lot of people don't know that. He was extremely smart.
But I will say, on the flip side with music, I think that's what made the original Resident Evil scary as well. The minimalistic music, and the music only popped up for that scary element, and that really made that game. It worked for that game.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like if we're going to talk about soundtracks on video games, we have to mention Final Fantasy.
Oh yes.
Yes.
All of them. Final Fantasy 5, 6, 7. I mean, they all bangers.
Kingdom Hearts. 1 and 2. I haven't finished 3 yet, but 1 and 2 definitely. You know, have some of the best boss battle music I've ever heard. Especially when you're fighting a boss for 10, 15 minutes, and you have to do it over and over again because you lose. It doesn't hurt. They have a really good soundtrack. Right. And I've got my ass kicked many a time. But another really cool shout out was, I love the fact that when you lose, you know, and they ask you if you want to give up and you say no, Mickey Mouse will jump in. And you get to play with him for a few minutes. But yeah, soundtracks and Kingdom Hearts, yes, I love it.
Do you guys remember that Aerosmith game? It was like a shooter game where you shot CDs.
Yeah.
They were kidnapped by this corrupt government group. Aerosmith.
That's called Revolution X.
Yeah, Revolution X. Yep, with Aerosmith.
Yeah, we used to play it all the time in Aladdin's Castle.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, that sounds like a garbage fire.
I'm surprised you never heard of it, Billy. It was pretty decent.
No, I haven't. You know what it sounds like? It's like somebody went to Aerosmith and they said, okay, picture this, Duck Hunt, but with CDs and you guys.
Basically.
Yeah,
you know what it looks like?
Terminator.
Remember like those virtual cop games or like, Lethal Force. It kind of looks like that. It was online, and it had Aerosmith music in it. In fact, one of the levels, probably like the first level, they were on stage performing.
Yeah, yep.
And then they get kidnapped off the stage, and after that, that's it. They give you the keys to his car, and you got to you shoot your way through the game. And I never finished it. It's too hard.
Somebody kidnapped the whole band while they were performing.
Yeah.
Some woman.
White.
Yeah, she's some woman wearing black leather or something like that. I mean, I think they probably wanted to go because they didn't put up much of a fight. They ended up playing but
They had to make a video game. And speaking of which, celebrities in video games were like, what was it? That whole DJ Revolution, Def Jam, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the latest we're dealing with is Cyberpunk with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to playing that.
It's a big deal. I don't think it's like that kind of, we're going to shoehorn a celebrity in here to kind of make this something that it's not, because it's kind of built around him and the character being him, which is great, I get that. And it's Keanu Reeves, so,
right.
But when you look back, like, what was it? The original Street Fighter was supposed to be Van Damme. It was a Van Damme for Street Fighter 2 was supposed to be a Van Damme video game, and Van Damme would not sign on it. The main character was Guile, who's based on Van Damme, and then Van Damme would not sign off on it. They pushed him kind of to the side and brought Ken Ryu up to be like the main protagonist of the game.
Right, until the movie version of Street Fighter came out.
Oh, that was horrible.
And they stuck him in there.
Oh, yeah, and then they made a Street Fighter the movie game, and it was terrible.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
I was actually watching on YouTube. It was like video games like that. It's a creator I watch, but
the game based on the movie, based on the game.
Yes, that's exactly what he was talking about. Different games that spawned a movie that spawned a game based on the movie that was based on the game. We all played Rampage as a kid.
Yeah.
And then they made a Rampage movie. And they're like, we're going to sell this movie, put The Rock in it. And then they had a Rampage game based on the movie instead of based on the game.
What do you guys think about, what was that weird Sega Dreamcast game? Space Dance? Space Station 5?
Space Channel 5.
Yes.
Michael Jackson's in that game.
Of course.
That dude is everywhere.
Agent M. But that was you know what? I actually bought like the Xbox Dreamcast collection game. I can't figure that game out. Like you just do a dance off and
you shoot. Yeah, I have it on in my PlayStation VR, and you get to walk around up in there. You have to dance and everything in front of the camera. And you have to shoot the little robot guys or the little alien guys or something like that. I don't know if Michael's in that one. He might be, but I never finished it.
He probably is. You know what? From now on, I'm just going to assume that Michael Jackson is hidden in every single Sega game.
Hey, he's also Ready to Rumble Round 2.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he got the glittery boxing glove.
Yeah.
And when
does anyone know like who founded Sega?
Probably Michael Jackson.
Yes.
No.
I was gonna say, can we like prove that it wasn't Michael Jackson? Because I can't say that it wasn't. So.
Well, yeah, I think
Sega was created as arcade games for the military.
Okay.
And then ended up going into home consoles when home consoles became a thing. But I believe their first investor was probably Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Or Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson was kind of a visionary. He could see things coming. And if you didn't see it, Lord help you.
Hey, boy, you better do this Pepsi commercial.
I don't care if your hair's on fire. Get back up there.
Oh my goodness.
I also heard. I mean, I know this is a little off topic, but I thought that Sega made coin slot machines like for the casino. Also,
they probably did.
No way.
Yeah.
Jukebox. You know. Yeah.
But
they'd be surprised.
Well, you know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So you know, Nintendo's been around since the 1800s. You know, they used to be a card company.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this is so. I mean, that's what they did. They did cards, and I guess like back in I think it was back like in the 60s or maybe 70s, somewhere back in there, they got into making the games and computers and everything. And then I'm guessing Donkey Kong was probably like their first game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I don't think it was their first, but it was their first one to get popular.
Yeah.
It was their first one to really hit big. I think they made a couple of small time games before that. They were still kind of testing the waters. Obviously there were no home consoles at the time. You know?
But we're forgetting one game though. Was that Dance Revolution? The
Dance Revolution.
Dance Revolution.
Oh my goodness.
I remember when I went to Florida and I seen that for the first time in the arcade and played it. In fact, just last year before everything shut down, I was out with my sister and we were in Biloxi and there was this one little guy who was playing that game. And I mean, I guess the pad must have been smoking as much as he was jumping on it. He did not miss one beat. And in fact, I have it on video.
I just wonder if there was somebody that actually went out to a club on a dance floor and front, back.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I'm sure.
you know, I did the dance for Lady Gaga's Poker Face from Dance Central with the Xbox 360 Connect. Fist pump,
All right.
and then you rotate and you slide twice.
Right.
Fist pump.
Hey, wait a minute. Guess what we're leaving
I
out?
took it to the club.
Guess what game we're leaving out now?
What's that?
The Michael Jackson Experience.
Michael Jackson again.
Hey, yeah, because he's in every damn game at this point. You know, if you guys ever come across it, I'm actually looking for the glove for that game because it came with a glove.
They claim with a glove.
It came with a shiny glove, and I have the game. I don't have the damn glove. So, you know, like that, something comes with the game, you know, people lose it. So I found me a game secondhand, but I haven't found that glove.
And
Well, once again, there's still 3 different versions of that game, and I have all 3. One for the DS, one for the Xbox 360 Connect, and one for the Wii.
I didn't like
Each one a different.
I didn't like the Wii one.
I think I like the Wii one. The Wii one to me was the best one. The 360 version, where you have to stand in front of the camera, it's kind of creepy to see yourself on a TV screen.
No, Scharonne, it's kind of creepy to see you on a TV screen.
Thriller.
I hadn't played that one too much. It's weird, you know, but still, I mean, it still has good music. Michael Jackson. I mean, hey.
And then even we could say 30. Well, I don't know how. It's probably closer to 40 now. Everybody knows that. It's iconic.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's the thing: is all of the original Mario's music was written by the same guy that did all of the original Legend of Zelda music, and it's still the same guy. Dude, I was about to say, there's like the sound when you find a secret treasure chest in Legend of Zelda. You know, it builds up. It's like and then it has like a twinkling noise. Ever since Ocarina of Time, it's in every Zelda game. To this day, man, I'm like this. So I'll find the secret chest in the room, and you know, there's 100 of them throughout the game. But oh boy, I get so excited. I love that sound so much. It's such a simple little sound effect. It's just a little loop, probably like 10 notes on a keyboard, but man, it really, that sound effects, that little bit of music really makes that for me. It's my favorite thing to hear in a game.
I wonder if I can put that as a jingle on my phone, like for whenever I get a text message.
I bet you could.
My friend has it as his ringtone.
Yeah. Wow. But I mean, can you imagine you get the text and it's like, da-na-na-na, you know?
Yeah. Hey, I used to have the TARDIS from Doctor Who as my ringtone, and it used to irritate the crap out of people because it was real loud squealing.
I've never seen Doctor Who, so I don't know. I know the TARDIS is like that phone booth or whatever.
Yes.
But I don't know what sound it makes.
And I'm not gonna lie, when I play the Star Wars video games and the Star Wars music comes on, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
hey,
man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, think about it. You got like, what, 12-time Oscar winner John Williams writing the music for your video game at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Indiana Jones.
How many Oscars has that guy won for his musical scores? Yeah. So, like, you're playing a video game, and essentially the music for the game was written by him. So.
Oh, yeah.
Has he won every? I think he's won every single. I think he's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. He's an EGOT one. Yeah.
And then let's talk about how Vice City just got people in the 80s music. Like, oh man, I'll go to like some 80s music video and they're like, oh yeah, GTA Vice City brought me here.
Right.
Yep.
But I mean, I think that's good that it does that because it keeps that alive for like the younger generation.
You know what? That was actually a really cool feature of Grand Theft Auto. Is like you could get in the car and just drive around and listen to the radio and change the channels and stuff like that.
Well, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 had like a bitchin' soundtrack.
So did one. all the Tony Hawks had great soundtracks.
Like Tony Hawk also, as well as TOO, not TWO.
Oh, I apologize. But, you know,
And then
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 had Primus, so we got to acknowledge that.
But, Bill, good question.
Yes.
Remember, was it Blink 182 that was all over Crazy Taxi, and now the newer ones, they don't have that soundtrack? Remember in Crazy
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember the game.
Yeah.
I remember the game, but I tried not to remember Blink 182.
Hey, what about? I'll tell you what else had a really good soundtrack. Was Nintendo's Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
That was another one. As hard and as frustrating as that game was, the soundtrack had to be good because I used to slam that controller. Yeah, you want to talk about another rage quit? Yeah. Look, Ninja Gaiden taught me how to curse because I used to get so frustrated with that game and that Hulk. But I mean, that music just kept. I mean, the music kept me going with it. You know, especially the second one. It's like there was like no bad track in the game, and it must have been like 12 stages long. I don't know. But yeah.
Yep. So, any closing thoughts? Oh, before we forget, don't get your stuff from GameStop. Where should you get your video games from?
thearcadecabinet.com. If I don't have it, you message me and I'll make sure I get it for you.
There we go. Any closing remarks before we leave? And I didn't realize how many games Michael Jackson was in until this episode.
Oh, he's in more. Don't worry, we'll find him. But
if you think of any, leave them in the comments. Talk about it. Definitely,
yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, and you know, look out for me. Scharonne's Arcade 1/4 Challenge every Friday. Upload a new one.
Yep.
So look for it.
And you guys can catch us on all streaming platforms, and definitely leave us a comment. Your thoughts, what we should talk about, what we should cover, how you felt about the episode. Rate Bill the arcade cabinet and your video game. And ladies and gentlemen, that's myself, Furyus, Fieryfoxx, Scharonne the Painter Herrington, and Billtendo Chappetta signing off for the arcade cabinet.